Hello and welcome to Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Today it has been 2 weeks since I last recorded. I don't usually take a week off, but last week. It was not great. I mean, it was fine. It was a really good week, but I was traveling and I was really tired. So I just was like, nope, I don't have a whole lot. Like I hadn't done that much knitting over the week I was home because I was at the wedding and I was very busy. So I figured I'd just save it because I'd have something more substantial to talk about this week. Right, so now it's Tuesday. I don't know what the date is, the day I'm uploading this. Today's the 13th, right? Yeah, so 14. So 16th, August 16th? Yeah. Cool, yeah, so I was away in Vermont. Obviously, if you saw my last episode, I was in Vermont. And then I was in Vermont because my best friend from high school was getting married. Lauren got married. Her birthday's tomorrow. She's in Portugal on her honeymoon. So that sounds really fun. I'm really glad that the wedding was good because she doesn't like to be the center of attention. So I think she was kind of nervous about the whole thing, but it was gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it was a really beautiful wedding. My whole family was there. It was a really good time. We really enjoyed it. And like a lot of, my friends from growing up were there. 4 of us were bridesmaids, except one got COVID, so she wasn't at the wedding, which was sad. I got to see a lot of my friends. The doors open today. That just turned to something. I think that's mine. The AC thing just turned on. So it's a little loud. But I opened my bigger porch door today. We have just sliding glass doors at the back of the house onto the porch. And I opened the big glass door and just shut the screen one because it's 67 degrees, which is unbelievable. So it was really hot when I got back here. I drove back on Monday. It was really, really hot. And that was the whole thing, And then on Wednesday, I think it was, it stormed on Wednesday because I went to trivia at the bar or the brewery that I always go to trivia at, and it was it was pouring, so we were all inside, which was a little gross, but my roommates and I are like, okay, well, we just had COVID, so this is fine. But yeah, it's now the CDC is who cares? So we still care. I didn't wear a mask to Costco yesterday, and I had it around my neck. I just forgot to put it on, and I was I realized halfway through the Costco trip I didn't have it on, and I was well, I just had COVID and it's not very crowded tonight, so I guess we're fine. This is not my usual. I do have a coffee, double fisting, but it's 8 in the morning on Saturday, the 13th, when I'm recording this. And actually, since July, I started drinking smoothies in the mornings, every morning, because I feel as though I do not eat enough fruits and vegetables. And I'm 28 and I'm an adult. I'm a really good cook. So I don't know why tooting my own horn there, but I am a good cook. My mom is an amazing cook and she did teach me a lot of things about cooking. But so I know how to cook vegetables. I just don't because I usually plan the menus in our house. I don't I ask Hannah, I'll be oh, what vegetables should we have? And she'll be oh, this. And so we eat that at dinner, but I don't eat a lot of vegetables throughout the day. So I've been trying to replace other stuff with just fruit and vegetables. Instead of just eating a bunch of chips at work or rice cakes or something that's just carbs, I just eat bell pepper sticks instead. And I feel it's a good thing in the morning to just start it with, it's green because there's kale in it because I really like kale. But it's kale and tropical fruit. And yogurt. I use Stonyfield yogurt because they make whole milk yogurt, but their whole milk yogurt at my store is only vanilla flavored, so it has some vanilla. I don't really care. It's fine. It tastes good. And orange juice and peanut butter. I don't like bananas in smoothies because they completely overwhelm the taste of the smoothie, and I'm I'll eat a banana if I want to eat a banana. I'm not against it, but I don't want it in my smoothie. So I tropical fruit or berries frozen and then kale, which is also frozen. I actually get kale and chop it up and freeze it. I don't buy like a bag of kale because it's a lot cheaper if you just buy a head of kale and de-head it yourself, de-stem it, strip it yourself. Anyway, that's a digression. I'll continue with it. When I was teaching music history at Penn, I used to, my class was 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., well, 10 to 10:50 or something. And it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I was living on campus. Like I was like a graduate RA, so I had a room in this dorm. And I had like breakfast food in there. Like I had like a sink and stuff. And so I like have a coffee there. Sometimes I would have something to eat. Like I would have and I had a microwave, so sometimes I would have oatmeal or something. Then I would go, and there was a smoothie truck outside my building, like literally like right across a very narrow street. And I had like a cold cup from Starbucks that was like 16 ounces, which was equivalent to their small or whatever. And it was really cheap. It was like $3 or something. And I went every day. I would go on before teaching. And it was a see-through cup, so my students always knew I was drinking a kale smoothie, and they used to make fun of me. But those kale smoothies was a kale, mango, and pineapple every day. Sometimes I get strawberry instead of pineapple, but it was so good. And yeah, so I was like, well, let's recreate that. But I also put peanut butter in my smoothies because, I don't know, is that gross? I think the peanut butter is the best thing on the planet, so it's not weird. This straw is also from when I used to live in the dorms. You can't really see it anymore, but it says Penn Craves. I've never used it until now. But I like had these reusable straws just like in my kitchen stuff somewhere in my parents' shed from when I moved out of the dorms. And I guess it's useful. It's like easier for me to drink a smoothie through a straw because it's so cold. I don't want to drink like too much at once. And like it spills if I try to drink it like out of a cup because it's like not liquid and not solid. You know, it's a smoothie. But let's get to the knitting. Okay, you can see the straw. Let's just turn that. So I have been working away on a bunch of things. I was working on my Cloudsley sweater a lot. And yesterday I finished the body. I have tons of yarn for that. I mean, I have 3 skeins, but they're like, I finished the body and I still have like in 1.5 skeins. So like I can lengthen it, and I might lengthen the body. Because it's rolling up because of the hem. So I need to like block it and see. I think I'm gonna finish the sweater and then I'm gonna like block it and see what I think. And then if need be, I'm just gonna unpick. The hem was really short. It was just like a little garter band. And I'll just unpick that and then just add a couple more inches if I want to. That's not really a problem. It's the beauty of top-down sweaters. So I finished that yesterday because I really want to get that done, or done with these sleeves in this iteration, and then maybe like add length later. I really want to get it done before Friday, which is the TWT sweater Cal cast on day. So you'll see my segment about that if you watch the Woolly Thistle Shopcasts. It's gonna be out on Friday, so that's fun. And I'm making a ugly Christmas sweater that's gonna be like not ugly, because obviously it's gonna be gorgeous, but it's gonna be an ugly Christmas sweater. And I'm hoping to make 2 of them, one for me and one for my brother. I don't think he watches this channel. I don't think he's ever watched this channel, so it's fine. He can know. I don't care if he knows. He's been asking me to make him one for ages, like not really seriously, but like kind of seriously. And I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna make us matching ones, one in red and one in green. So that's gonna be fun. Okay. Right, so I got back, I've been working on that, but on Tuesday, I went to work and Hannah, my roommate, was like, oh, I sent some stuff to your work. Can you bring them home? Like the packages that I sent to you. And I was like, sure. We order a lot of stuff to my work because we live in a row house. So we have porch pirates. Things get stolen a lot. I mean, not like a ton because we don't ship stuff to the house, but we both have had a package stolen, and that's been unfortunate. So Jordan's parents live nearby. So I think she just ships her stuff to her parents' house and she just periodically goes home to get it. But we are more impatient about our yarn, so we always ship it to my office where it's safe. So poor Hannah was like, I was gone for like 2.5 weeks, and she's like, all the yarn arrived. And I was like, great, I'll go get it. So I went to work on Tuesday and I got it, and so it was yarn. She wanted to make the Alpenglow for Rhinebeck, and so I was like, oh yeah, I kind of want to make that too. And we were just chatting about it like while I was gone, and we were talking about yarn choices and, you know, options for like not breaking the bank and stuff, because we both really like Spin Cycle. But so she ordered 1 skein of Spin Cycle, and I have 1 skein of Spin Cycle that I was like, oh, I could use that and just get another one if I need it. But we were like, let's try to eke this sweater on 1 skein of Spin Cycle each. So if you haven't seen the Alpenglow sweater, it's really pretty. I am on my phone now recording, so I can't show you a picture of the sweater, but it's Andrea Mowry's new Rhinebeck sweater, and it comes in like more like, I mean, it's a women's and men's version, but it's like, you know, one that's like for like a longer yoke, deeper yoke, and like one for a shorter yoke. Basically, whatever body type you fit, you should knit. Or your recipient fits. It doesn't matter. So I am going to Rhinebeck, I think. I'm like 98% sure I'm going to go to Rhinebeck. So that is pretty fun. My brother's girlfriend's parents live in Montclair, New Jersey, and they were like, oh yeah, you can come stay with us. It's like an hour and a half to Rhinebeck from their house, but like that's a lot closer than me driving from here. And I want to go on Friday and Saturday, so we'll see. So I don't know if I'm going to wear it to Rhinebeck. If I go to Rhinebeck 2 different days, then maybe I'll wear it. It depends on the weather. I wanted to wear Fair Isle to Rhinebeck because I'm the Fair Isle queen, but we'll see. Anyway, so she was like, she got Wool of the Andes Sport in this beautiful red color called Hollyberry, and she got like a light kind of pinky grayish brown Spin Cycle. I can't remember what it's called. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, and then we went stash diving in the mohair bag that I have, because there's tons. So she chose like a light pink, and I chose like a deep purple Surrey alpaca. No, it's not deep purple, it's royal purple. And she had like a really light kind of cream brown, like it's oyster heather for her top bit of color work that really goes, I mean, it almost doesn't contrast at all with the mohair, but it like mohair just kind of adds texture. It's very cool. So mine, okay, so the top, like the collar color, so I haven't done the full collar yet, because you do you don't have a professional cast on, you cast on and then you pick up stitches around the neck, and then you get like a turtleneck little thing up and fold it. So this is my collar color, and it also is the sleeve cuff color. So this is Malabrigo Arroyo, which is a sport weight superwash. I think it's 4 plies. It's plied yarn, and this color is called Anniversario. And I actually got this in grad school when Monica and I were knitting a ton of mittens, and I knit a pair of mittens with it. It was 100 gram skein. I don't know how much is left. I should have weighed it. I'm sure there's plenty. I'm not really worried. That's kind of how I do things. I'm like, I don't need to weigh that. That's plenty. Like I know by sight. I'm like, we're good. So I made a pair of mittens with this in white, and there was like, I think it was called the Vessel and Rose mittens. It's from I'll link up my Ravelry project page because it's definitely on Ravelry. I'll link the Ravelry project page in the show notes. They had these big roses on the back of the hand. The pattern is from the book Mittens from Around Norway. So that's fun. And I just loved this color. And the thing about Malabrigo is that every skein is different. Like every dye lot, they don't even really have dye lots because like this is super variegated. Every skein of Malabrigo is so different. So this one had a lot of pink, but not too much pink. It was all like the fuchsia. It didn't have a ton of this like light green. It was mostly like blue, teal, kind of purpley, which was what I wanted. And I think I picked this out like at the store. I think I got it at Loop in Philadelphia. I think they used to have that, and I think that's where I got it. I'm like 80% sure that's where I got it, because I also have this yarn, the same base in another variegated color that I got around the same time. This is how I like figure out where I bought things. So collar. So I'm just not showing you the sweater yet. This is like a mystery. This is the Surrey alpaca. So I dyed this some time ago, probably last summer. I dyed a bunch of these for like the insides of cowls or something. I don't know why this was wound into a ball. I must have used a tiny bit for something, and I have no idea what. But it was wound into a cake. So it was in the scrap like bag, and it's basically a full 50-gram skein of Surrey. I mean, it was, and then I used it. So you have to hold that double to get a sport weight mohair or Surrey, or I think the pattern actually calls for the cashmere base from Magpie. Andrea Mowry, really, she's a good business person for Magpie and Spin Cycle, because she just makes the most beautiful patterns, and then you just want to buy their expensive yarn. She's a genius. So there's that. So I'm pulling from both the outside and the middle, which is a little tangly. As you can see, Surrey is a little more boucle-like than mohair. It's a little fluffier, it's softer. Oh, someone's walking by. They're gonna hear me talking to myself. I'll wait till they're gone. Yeah, so this is, all right, it was my neighbor. She was trying to get her recycling bin into the alley or something. So I just shut my door. I was like, Darren, I might be there for a minute. It's kind of loud. The recycling bins have really loud wheels that like bounce along the brick. Anyway, so where was I? Sorry, right, okay, I think I'm done talking about that. Okay, so my Spin Cycle colorway is Melancholia, which I've had it for a really long time. This is not a super variegated Melancholia skein. These are the two sleeve bits that I just separated off by weight. This one is really different from this one, so the sleeves will look a little different, but there's not a lot of purple in this skein. And I have Melancholia, I have like 3 skeins of it in Dream State, which is the worsted weight, that I got to make Andrea Mowry's Sparky. I think I got the Dream State on the second sale a few years ago, and I got 3 skeins of Melancholia because it's my favorite Spin Cycle color. And those ones are a lot more purple, which I know, I mean, I would know because I have the skeins, but also I actually started knitting that sweater. I just tried to do a top-down raglan. It didn't work. I just made a stupid error. So I could have made the Spark sweater into a top-down raglan that was, like, Sparky is a top-down raglan, I think. Or it's a top-down circular, maybe? It's a top-down. And I actually want to make that too. But I just like tried to convert the pattern, and I did some stupid math, and the yoke was just like way too, it looked like a funnel, like it was way too deep and way too tiny at the top. So I picked it out and I was like, I'm just gonna knit the actual cardigan. But yeah, these ones are very teal. And this is the skein for there's like a tiny bit of kind of this like periwinkle in this. I don't know. I did wind it, so I like looked through it yesterday when I wound this up. Yeah, inside here it's just more teal and white and stuff. So I'm not really fussed. It just kind of is what it is. And I think I'm gonna be able to do this sweater in one skein. I think. Because noticing how much, like, I have this much left just for the body, and it doesn't take that much. And I'm not gonna do the corrugated ribbing. That's just gonna take too much Spin Cycle and too much time. So I think I'm gonna be able to do it in one. I was just gonna go like get another skein at Magpie. I think I was gonna get Leaf, which is kind of similar to this color, Melancholia, but it's darker and there's more green. Also, Leaf is the name of my best friends growing up next door, named Sachi and Lucy. That's their last name. It's their name, Sachi Leaf and Lucy Leaf. So I thought that would be cute because it's a little personal connection. But anyway, like Magpie's like out of Spin Cycle because they're not out, they're almost out because of the Alpenglow kits. So I'm not really fussed. I'll just, you know, get it somewhere else if I need it, or I'll probably be able to squeeze out the sweater in one skein. I don't need to wear it to Rhinebeck. I have a lot of other sweaters I could wear to Rhinebeck. So the main color, still haven't shown you this sweater. This is a main color. And it's a farm yarn from Vermont, and it's called Petersholm Farm, which is in Williston, which is actually really close to where I grew up. That's in Chittenden County, and it's like, which is the county that's like, it's pretty small. It's like basically right on Lake Champlain. You can Burlington is where I grew up. That's right on the lake. And then Williston's like, I think it's a little bit south. Yeah, it's down 89. So it's like south and a little bit east. Because Burlington's like the westmost part of Vermont. So yeah, it's like southeast a little bit. It's like when you drive there, you can see Camel's Hump, which is in the middle of the state-ish. It's closer to the middle of the state, so it must be south and east. But yeah, this is, anyway, this is a Shetland mohair blend spun by Mad River Fiber Mill, which is where I bought it. That's like a little fiber mill also in the middle of the state. It's in it's in Warren. I think it's in Warren. It's right across from this, like the road. It's right across Route 100 from American Flatbread, which is the best place on earth. So if you've been to Vermont, or especially Burlington, you may have been to American Flatbread, which is like a pizza restaurant, or flatbread restaurant. And it has a very distinctive art, and they have this like amazing, they have really, really good pizza. It's like wood-fired pizza. And the first one I think was down in Middlebury, but then they opened the one in Waitsfield, which is like on a farm. It's actually on a farm. It's beautiful. It's not like a working farm. It's just kind of like on farmland. And they might grow stuff, but they don't have animals there. And it's like this old barn is where the restaurant is, and then you can sit outside. There's like there's like a field. You can play frisbee. You can kids can run around. Dogs, I don't know if dogs are allowed, but there's a Burlington one that opened when I was like 10 or 11, which is great because it's the same food. But my parents still like to go all the way out to Waitsfield like once a year to go to flatbread out there. And I think my dad and I were hiking. Like we hiked like Mount Abraham or something, which is you have to drive to basically to Warren and then up the Lincoln Gap Road, which is one of the gaps over the Green Mountains. And it's a gap in the Long Trail, actually. And it was like a Saturday, and I made him stop. And I bought this. I bought 3 skeins of it. So I had knit a sweater for my mom with this. I'll link the Ravelry page in the show notes. It was Jennifer Stengast New Leaf with this and a skein of Spin Cycle. And it was really nice. I mean, it's like, as my mom always says, this yarn has a lot of character. And I'm like, how do you know you didn't knit with it? You bought the yarn and you asked me to knit with it. But she's right. It does have a lot of character. This is what it looks like in the cake. It's kind of, you can't super tell here, but there's a little bit of thick and thin quality. And it's not the mill that like does that or anything. Like it's pretty even. I've used a lot of fiber from Mad River Fiber Mill, and it depends on the blend. Like the blend kind of does this to it, because if you just use like pure Shetland, it's much smoother. Not that it really matters, because it has a lot of character. It's really squishy. It doesn't smell too sheepy, but it does smell sheepy. It says sport, 15 wraps per inch, 4 ounces, 296 yards. I think it's more than that, yeah, number of yards, but that's fine. So I have 2 more of these. They are from the same lot, which is good. And I am here. Okay, are you ready to see it? I'm gonna do the big reveal. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen it. So, what's the back? I put it on barber cord so that I can actually put it on, which is thrilling. Okay, that's the back. I haven't knit the collar yet, but I was thinking about doing that last night. Here it is. It's very cute. It's really addicting. So, it starts with a pretty wide collar here in this first color A, which is basically not used at all, except in the collar and on the sleeve cuffs. And you do this little, and then I'm gonna do the little tiny turtleneck in that. And then you go into this this mohair and these just zigzags. So, or mine's Surrey. So it's kind of hard to see it on mine too. It's not as, it's like Hannah's, it's low contrast. Mine's a little higher than that, but go into the mohair bits, and then you do the same kind of zigzag with the white. Do a little increase work, because it's a circular round yoke, so you're increasing on set rounds. And then you do this first little color work, which is, it's like, yeah, Andrea Mowry does really cute things with 1x1 color work a lot, and I think that is a creative little thing. And then you do the little, I guess they're kind of like little mountains, because it's the Alpenglow. And you get that's just your little stranded color work bit. And then you separate, well, actually, then you measure it, and if it's not long enough, I should have not been stupid. I should have separated for the sleeves before I started this little body work, because I had too many stitches when I separated for the sleeves, and I didn't realize until the end of the round because I didn't count, because sometimes I get complacent, and I assumed I had the right number and I didn't. So that was a problem, and I had to then unpick my round of putting sleeve stitches on hold and just like rearrange a little bit so that they were even, which meant that the squares were not totally in the right places, but that's okay. I mean, it doesn't really, they are symmetrical with each other, but I didn't, like, I had to cast on a different number of underarm stitches to get the, like, to match up with the pattern. So yeah, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I fixed it. That's that, I fixed it. And then I did a little bit of body work. So this is Mosaic knitting. So it does look like color work on the back, kind of, but you're slipping these white stitches and knitting just with the contrast color, which for me is the blue. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't keep that door open because people are bringing their recycling bins back into their backyards. And then I am floating this blue yarn over the white stitches I'm slipping, but there's no white floats because I'm not carrying the white yarn at all. So Mosaic knitting is really easy. It's like, sometimes I call it poor man's color work, but that's a rude thing to say. It's just color work where you don't have to actually strand two strands. It's Mosaic knitting. It's really cute. You can do a lot of cool designs with it. Jody Brown from the Grocery Girls has a lot of really cool slip stitch designs. Stephen West has a lot of really cool Mosaic slip stitch designs. Lots of designers, if you know any particular patterns that you like that have Mosaic knitting or slip stitches, drop them in the comments because they're super cool. Okay, I'm gonna try it on. So I put it on knitting barber cords, which if you don't have, you should get. They are incredible. These are little cords that have a, I'm not sponsored to say this, I just really like them because you can get these anywhere. Well, almost anywhere. They have, you can't tell, but it's hollow. It's like bucatini spaghetti, it's hollow. So you just attach it to your needle tip like this. I should have done a live demo. So you attach it to your needle tip because it's hollow, and it's, well, you can pull it off, but it's pretty on there. It's pretty on there. And then you slide the stitches. Sometimes the stitches will snag a little bit, so you have to be gentle. The bigger your needle, the easier they're gonna slide onto this cord because this cord is a smaller circumference than most needles. If you're using like a US size 1, which is like pretty much the same, that would be really hard to get onto this cord. And a US 3, which is what I'm using for this sweater, is also pretty hard. Speaking of gauge, Hannah and I had really different gauges, so I should talk about that a little bit. So I went down a needle size, neither of us swatched. Bad. Neither of us swatched, but I went down a needle size, and which is usually what I do. And she used the needle size that was asked for in the pattern, and hers was like way too small. So she went up 2 needle sizes to a US 6. And just ripped back to the start of the color work, the like spin cycle color work. And then we're gonna check and see if she's on. But anyway, you can use these cords to try things on. So I could have put there's the two in here are the sleeve ones. There's 2 sleeve ones that are 30 inches. And then there's a body cord, which is 60 inches. So I don't use the sleeve ones too often. If I'm doing a bottom up sweater, sometimes I use them. It doesn't matter, they're useful. The body one though is like the best because you can just put your sweater on the cords and then you can try it on. Here we go. Okay, so it fits, which is good. It's cute, I like it. It's not too loose, like a lot. It really fits pretty well. I mean, it's not gonna be tight, but it's like a nice, you know, it's fitted across the shoulders. Most of my sweaters are they have a lot of positive ease, so this doesn't have too much positive ease, which is kind of nice, but it's totally still fits, and it's gonna be comfy. I don't mind wearing this very woolly wool next to my skin, so that's not a problem. Especially on my arms. Like a lot of people wear a long sleeve shirt because it's hard to have on their arms. I would probably wear something underneath the body of the sweater, like a tank top or something, just kind of to protect the sweater from like sweat and stuff. You know, put another layer between me and my sweater just to keep it safe more. I don't really mind the scratchiness. But yeah, it is great. I'm really enjoying it. It's very addicting. And I told myself I was just gonna work on it through last evening because it was, I was gonna record this morning and I just had split for the sleeves, and so I just needed to I did like 3 repeats last night. And now I don't want to stop, but I told Hannah I would wait until she caught up to me because she had to rip back. So now I have to work on the sleeves for my cloud sleeve and not this. It's like, this is what happens to me. I'm like, maybe I'll just knit to the end of this ball. Just do that. No, I'm gonna stop and knit on those sleeves because I really want to have that sweater done by next Friday, which is just over, well, it's just under a week when I'm recording this. It's a couple days from when you see it, so. People ask me about this, so I'll mention it. I got my Chaos Coordinator mug at Target almost a year ago. They probably don't have it anymore, but people like it. I feel like I'm the Chaos Coordinator, and if it's like not a copyrighted thing, which it's probably not, I could like have my own mug designed and then sell it on Redbubble, and then people could buy it. And it could say Chaos Coordinator on one side and Tiny Desk Knitting on the other side. So maybe I'll do that. Jordan would probably enjoy designing that. Jordan is my roommate. She does graphic design. She's helping me with pattern layout. I told her that I would like advertise her as a pattern layouter on my channel, and she was like, no, I have too much freelance work, don't do it. So she said, maybe later. Just when it rains, it pours. And she has a real job, so we don't want to inundate Jordan with knitting pattern layout design stuff. But yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. I mean, August is a little crazy. I have been knitting a lot. I'm really glad it's less hot now, because it means I want to go outside and do things more often. I'll probably go to I think we're going to the beach tomorrow, so I'll probably knit tomorrow at the beach. I don't think I've done a lot of beach knitting this summer yet. I'm gonna take this off because it looks really ridiculous. So cute though. Yeah, I really want to do that collar. Maybe I'll do that today. It's very sweet. Sweet little sweater. Okay. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, I'm going to the beach tomorrow. I think we're gonna do that. I'm going today with Nitin, my friend Nitin, to his friend Robin's house to do a salsa tasting. I've never met Robin, but she makes cakes, and I have had her cakes because we had a cake for his birthday last year that was Earl Grey. It's like Earl Grey flavored because he likes Earl Grey tea, and it had a bunch of like basketballs that spelled his name on it, which was really cute. He likes college basketball a lot. And wow, I'm really glad I closed that door because people are really, you can probably hear the rolling. We sometimes hear it at night, but when we first moved in, it was like, what is that noise? And we realized, oh, it's trash day tomorrow, and it was like a nice reminder to take out the trash. Or recycling or whatever. So anyway, she does these like tastings of random things. It's like cool, and she makes a spreadsheet and people can bring their own or make their own or whatever. So I think she did a barbecue sauce one kind of recently, because I didn't go to that, but Nitin went to that because he loves barbecue sauce. He like dips his fries in barbecue sauce. And today is salsa, which is not my best thing because I can't eat cilantro because I think it tastes like soap. One of the funniest things about that to me is that like there's like a serious like percentage of people in this world who have this gene that makes cilantro taste like soap. Like I have this gene. I don't know why. that no one knows why. It's just like a thing. And I have several friends who have it, and that we all agree like it literally, I read a tweet recently and it was like, why do people get so mad at people who have this cilantro hating gene? Because you get mad at me and it literally tastes like someone doused my food in Dawn dish soap. And I was like, that is exactly how I feel. Like, I feel stupid if I like go to Chipotle and I just forget to be like, I need the rice without the cilantro. Like, because it just tastes like my whole food is just soaked in soap, like dish soap. It's so disgusting. And a lot of salsa has cilantro in it. So I can't eat a lot of it, which is a bummer. Sometimes I just do it anyway. If the cilantro is like small enough, it's like not that big a deal. But it's like guacamole, it's actually harder to taste it. I find like a lot of people put in guacamole. I never put it in guacamole. But I find it actually hard to taste the cilantro in guacamole. I don't know if it's because it's like covered in smashed up avocado or whatever. But like if it's in guacamole, fine. Like sometimes I'll like, you know, you can sort of like dip and be like, all right, avoid the cilantro. But yeah, people get really angry, like, and it's just like, I mean, it's like, why? Like, you know, I can't help that I have this gene. Like people, and a lot of people make fun of me for it, and I'm like, you're just being an absolute a-hole. Like, it's just really mean. I mean, you know, so I call it the devil's lettuce. Like, yeah, the devil's lettuce, cilantro. Obviously, I know that the devil's lettuce is marijuana. But people my age don't really care about marijuana. So, I mean, like, I'm not going to get into that, but people my age consume a lot of it like it's nothing. So I have no moral thoughts for or against that. But cilantro is the devil's true lettuce. Oh my God, the worst thing ever. Anyway, yeah. Trying to think of anything else to say. What else is going on? Not a whole lot. I'm going to the salsa tasting today. And then tonight I'm hanging out with Hannah. Jordan went tubing in Harper's Ferry today. We were gonna go tomorrow, but then they went today because it was not organized by us. And I already had plans, and so did Hannah. So, yeah. Tomorrow we're going to the beach with Nitin. And we're going to Sandy Point in Annapolis, which is like 35 minutes from here. It's right next to the Bay Bridge. And Nitin has a state park pass, so we usually go with him, and it's just free if we go in his car. And which is amazing. And then yeah, it's like a really nice weekend. It's not supposed to rain. It's supposed to be like in the high 70s and low 80s and not 105, which is just like incredible. So I've been outside a lot. This summer, like definitely, I have like a pretty, not super dark tan lines, but I definitely have like an obvious tan line from hanging out in the sun. I really wanted to be tan because my bridesmaid's dress for Lauren's wedding was like a really light pink, and everybody said we got the dresses in the winter and we were all like, oh boy, like hit that beach, wear sunscreen, but gotta get tan. And I was still the palest one. There's like pictures and you can see that I'm just like, wow, Emma's still palest. But because the other Emma wasn't there, she's also super pale. She's one of my friends. She's the one who had COVID, which was sad. Yeah, her name is Emma Friend, and she's Emma's friend, which is great. When we were little kids, when we were like 10, we used to call ourselves the Emmacratic Party. We thought that was really funny. Really funny. Yeah, we were like, I mean, Vermont is Vermont. We were just like all of us were way too aware of politics as little kids. Which actually I thought was great. I really liked being aware. Although I lived in a very homogeneous place in terms of politics when I was growing up. So I didn't really have opposing views coming at me. I just had one view, and it was very strong. But I was informed. So, you know, there's that. So, Oh, my best friend Monica, my best knitting friend, she just moved to Baltimore randomly. Not randomly. Her husband got a job here. And it was like a long process. Like she told me, she's like, it's probably gonna be Denver or Baltimore. And I was like, I live in Baltimore. And she's like, I know. I'm trying not to jinx it. And like, I don't want to like assume, but like this is the best option. And took a really long time. It was a really long hiring process, but he did get a job here. And it just started. And so he's working in downtown Baltimore, and they like literally moved to my neighborhood. I mean, they came to look at places. I think it was right after I got back in June. Maybe it was July. It was like late June or something. I don't know. I'd just gotten back from like the beach or something. And they were like, hey, we're in town. You want to like go for a walk? And I was like, yes. Why are you in town? And they were like looking for a place to live. So we walked around, and we thought they were going to live like if you go around the harbor to Canton or like Fells, they're gonna live over there. But that's really far from it's close to I-95, but it's on the other side of the tunnel. So if you go south, it costs a lot of money to drive through the tunnel every day. So I was like, don't live over there. You should live over on this side because it's better. It's closer to the highway. And you can still walk to where he works, like right by the aquarium. So you can still walk. I mean, I live like a 12-minute walk from the aquarium probably. Kind of incredible. And so it just ended up that like they didn't want to like look to buy a house right now because if they just like only had like a couple days here, and so they were like, that won't work. We'll just live in a building for a while and then maybe get a house if we want to. But so they got a place in this building that's actually like a 15-minute walk from my house. I'm so excited. She's working in DC. She's doing church music stuff there, which is a long commute, but you know, if they lived on the other side of the harbor, I would never see her because of the church music stuff. And like, we both can like go hang out in the mornings and like walk around Fed Hill, which is, I mean, yeah, I was lucky like moving. I mean, I moved here. I applied for jobs in this area because I'd lived here, but like my best friend Nitin lives in Baltimore, which is one of the reasons I wanted to move here. So I already had like somebody that I knew. And then my roommates are obviously good friends, and now I have like a bigger social circle because we go to this trivia and we like do kickball, and then like one of my other best friends just moved here like out of the blue, so that was pretty crazy. So I have an active social life. So a lot of my friends live here, which is great. It's nice to be like a young person living in a city with lots of friends and having a good time. My parents came to visit a couple months ago, and they were like, wow, you have like a sweet life. Good job, you know, good health insurance because I work at a state university. Good coworkers, like good friends, good stuff to do. Like, yeah, I know. Sweet house. Did I mention that? Our house is really cool. We hosted our first party for July 4th. May have been the place where the three of us got COVID, but nobody else got COVID from the party. So like, we don't really know. It was like a week after, so we still don't know. It doesn't matter. No one knows where they got COVID anymore. There's no contact tracing. It's too hard. But yeah, we had a very successful 4th of July party. It wasn't like a rager, like we're adults. I made pulled pork and like coleslaw and potato salad, and we are trying to drink all the beers that people brought. We had like a tally, and we had an over-under bet of when we could finish them, but we don't drink that much, so we have to have people come over and drink them for us. Yeah, it's been a good time. It's been a really good summer. Anyway, it's my life update. So next time I record, I'll let you know how many of the salsas I could eat, and I'll tell you my favorite ones. But yeah, I hope everyone else's summer is going great. I'm really happy to be back here, like really happy. It's just like nice to be back in my routine. I really like my job. We're getting ready for the beginning of the semester, so there's like a lot to plan. There's like a lot of really great people that I work with at the university, just like doing collaboration stuff about student success, and like I really like all my close colleagues and my like broader colleagues who are working with me for that, and it's like great. I sat on my first interview committee this week, which was crazy. I got to interview somebody. It was not in my department. It was like I was like the outside department person on the committee, but it was still exciting. I felt like a real member of a community, my work community. So anyway, yeah, I think that's everything. Because, yeah, nothing else is going on. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Bye!